Hello, Grand Lakers. This is Sam down at the Grand Lake SportsCenter, and welcome to the Rodcast. What I wanted to talk about today is about towing your toys in the water and the different types of ropes and different techniques that you can use while you're out there. It's all about safety. We want to make sure everybody has a good time and do it right so nobody gets hurt. And I'm going to go over some of that right now. So, as far as skis are concerned, everybody thinks nobody skis anymore, but you'd be surprised how many people ski. A lot of people ski. It's old school. It's what I did. And it's fun, believe it or not. So a lot of people, when they finally try it, they absolutely agree how fun that was. So I have a few different types of skis. I have this ski right here, which is just your average normal ski for anybody that can just get out there. It's a combo. So you've got two skis, and you just adjust. It's got a sliding boot size, so anybody can wear it because you can put any size foot inside that ski. Sometimes the ski won't go small enough. So I tell people put on your water shoes and then go into the binding. That'll fill that void to make it a little snugger so you're comfortable in the ski. So this ski right here is a pair double, pretty easy to come out of the water on. And you just have to focus on never bend your arms. Never. You always leave your arms straight. You do this, you're down. It's over. Leave your arms straight. Let the boat do the work. You are not going to pull yourself out of the water. Let the boat do all the work, and you'll come right up out of the water. This type of ski right here, a lot of people, when they get comfortable doing combos, they'll kick a ski. And then you got the other boot on the other ski so you can slalom. All right? That's how a lot of people learn how to slalom. Or you can get a ski like this, where it's real easy to come out of the water. And I have a lot of men, they come in here and they look at this ski and they just go, man. He goes, they probably have a Conley hook. They've had it for 30 years and they're having troubles getting out of the water. So they'll come in and look at this ski and they usually look at me and go, damn, I'm going to go back and try it one more time. And they'll go out, and a few days later, I'll see them back in the store. And they'll come inside and they'll look at this ski and go, it's time. So that's what it's going to take to get them out of the water. It's just a more surface area, and it's not so squirrely in the front. It's got a groove in the front where it makes the ski run straight, so they can come up out of the water a lot easier. So then I have little trainer skis for kids, and these are usually skis for kids that are 75 pounds or less. Okay, so it's a flat bottom ski. It's not squirrely. Doesn't do anything crazy. It's got a board that you can hook the two skis together, so they don't have to focus on trying to keep their legs together. All they got to do is focus on standing up. Okay. It comes with a double handle ski rope. And what I mean by a double handle here is there's a rope on both ends. So one end hooks to this bar, and then the rope goes to the boat, and then it comes off of this with a short rope with the handle for the skier. So that's actually pulling the ski out of the water and not the rider, okay? On the other end of the rope is another handle. You do not, when you're training somebody on a ski like this, you do not hook that rope to the boat. Because if you do, and they fall, and you drag them, it's over. You scared them, and it's going to be a long time before they try it again because they drank all that water. This rope has a handle on the other end. So you're standing in the back of the boat, and you're holding the rope. So as they're coming up out of the water, if they fall, you throw the rope, let it go so they sink back down. Don't drag them. That's the last thing you want to do. That's what makes this so special when you're trying to train somebody how to ski. This is a real trainer ski here. It's pretty easy to come out of the water on. You just put your feet in the boot. Everything holds together, nice and wide. I've seen 3-year-olds come out of the water on one of these boards. So this is a good board to start when they're really, really, really young. Here's a pair of combo skis that are real wide. All right. And Conley's a great brand. It's called the Big Easy. So this ski right here, I can get a big guy out of the water on these skis. This will support a big body, and you'll be able to plane right up on the water and start skiing. So this is for somebody that thinks that they can't get out of the water. Well, they can with this ski. So we have some different types of ropes. So this rope right here, sometimes people have a hard time learning how to come up out of the water. So this right here is a trainer rope. So while you're in the water, you're like this, and you put both your skis in these little loops right here, okay? So when you're laying in the water, your skis are sticking out. When you say hit it, they start pulling you up. This will keep your skis together. So you will come up and rise out of the water. And as you come up and get higher out of the water, the rope's going to slide up over the top of the skis. And once you're on top, you're gone. You're going to be able to handle it from there. So this makes it a lot easier. They make the same kind of rope for a slalom ski. It just has one hole like this down there. So that'll hold your ski straight. So if you come out and your ski's doing this, it'll calm it down so you'll come out of the water and stay straight. So that's kind of a handy rope to have for people that are having a hard time. So I also have a double handle ski rope. So this right here, you got two handles now. So some people with a single handle ski rope, when they're coming out of the water, they're just all over the place. I mean, they just cannot keep that rope centered and keep their balance. This rope, you got a handle in both hands. So you got center balance right here. You can control yourself. So it's going to help you come up out of the water and stay straight. And that's going to take away that squirrely feeling from the single handle rope. A lot of people that have tried skiing for years and can't. You get one of these and I'll guarantee you'll come up out of the water and you will be so proud of yourself. It's like the first time you ride a bike. You never forget that. So we have a lot of different types of ropes. This is I like these wide handle ropes like this for if you're doing like wakeboards, knee boards, anything like that, to where you think you're gonna start doing 180s, 360s out there. That wide handle gives you the advantage. When you pass that rope behind your back, it's easier to grab the other side to pull it back around when you make the turn. So this is a great rope. You've got regular ski ropes. See how much narrower that handle is? All right, so this gives you an advantage. So this rope here is a 3-section rope. I have one right here, which is a 5-section rope. And what I mean by that, you can pull out pieces that are about 15 foot long and shorten the rope. So if your ride's getting boring, just take a section out of that rope and it'll kick it up a notch. And it's going to be a lot of fun. You can turn those skis or that board into a bullet if you just have the one piece of rope and you're about 25 feet behind that boat. It's a rocket ride, one you'll never forget, I guarantee it. So we have those ropes. This is this rope here. Most ski ropes are about 75 foot. This rope's 100 foot. So a lot of times you got multiple people in the water. So let's say you got 3 skiers you're trying to pull up at one time. You're going to have the 2 on the outside on the 75-foot ropes. You're going to have the person in the middle on a 100-foot rope. They're going to be further back there. So that way there's not a problem of them bumping into each other when everybody's trying to come out of the water. Okay? So it's just something, food for thought, to have that extra long rope. I have your tow rope. Well, I got one more ski rope here. This rope, this is a cable. There is no stretch to this rope. Unforgiving. This is for the guy that wants to touch his shoulder to the water. Okay, this is very radical, very expensive. But this is a real radical rope for that guy that really wants to get out there on a slalom and show off a little bit. So That's what that rope's all about. Then I have when you're towing, some boats have a bar or a tow bar up high or one above the motor, or they'll have a center hook in the back of the boat. A lot of boats don't. You've got cleats on both sides of the boat. So this is called a bridle. So what this bridle does is you hook these clips to each of the transom clips, and it V's back behind the motor, and it has a float on it to keep it away from the prop. And you'll hook your tow rope to this. That way, when you come out of the water, you're centered behind the boat. If you try to pull it from one side or the other, the boat's not going to run right. It's going to feel funny. It's going to throw the person off because they're not going to be in the wake in the right spot. And it's going to make it hard for them to ski, period. So this is a lightweight for a small person. This is a heavy. So if you get somebody that's 250 pounds or so, you're going to want a heavier rope, and especially pulling a tube. A tube has a lot of pressure on it. So you want to make sure you've got a heavy duty rope. The last thing you want is for a rope to snap. It's going to fly back and hit somebody in the face, and it's not pretty, okay? So you always want to make it as safe as you can. This is another tow rope, and it's for small people or a one-person tube. This rope right here, this red device, it floats in the water. And they make this also, it's got a cable and it's got a plastic cover on it. Do not buy that one. That cable, that covering will peel off that thing, and it'll be worthless in a matter of 2 days. Get the one with the rope. That way there's nothing to peel back. It's got a pulley on it, and when you make turns, it centers behind that motor in the back there. So it's got its advantages right there. I've got, look at that pretty pink one. Yeah, this is a go. You want to make your wife happy? Come down here and get her one of these. She'll be thrilled. I've got, on most of your tubes, they always have one of these on one side. Some of the Mabel, some of the bigger tubes that you can pull 2 directions. On the other side, it just has a strap. So you can get one of these and put it through that strap and pull it tight. So you got a leash on both ends. So when you go to turn that tube around, you don't have to just unhook it from the front and hook it to the back instead of trying to drag that rope all the way through a loop. Because usually if you do that or tie a knot and you pull it in the water, it's not coming apart. I guarantee it. I know. I've driven too many screwdrivers through my hand trying to get a knot undone. It's not worth it. Okay. So this loop here, it just goes through the inside of that loop, and you hook it just like that. And that's how you're going to get through that. So when you're done, even though it's soaking wet and lots of pressure, you can push it apart and take it off with no effort. Sometimes people play bumper tubes. They'll put 2 tubes behind the boat, small tubes. Some people use big tubes with a big boat. But you can put 2 of the ropes through this little hole. And you want to make sure when you are pulling 2 tubes, you make sure the ropes are the same length. Okay? You don't want one in front of the other. Okay? So that's an advantage of that. A lot of times when they buy a Mabel from me, something like that, I give you this for free to make it convenient for you while you're out in the water. Anything that you can make easy in the water is good. It's always good to have it simple. Okay? For those of you that have troubles transporting tubes, I got what they call a tube keeper. It's got suction cups that stick on the back of your boat, and you can lash it to your tube and tie it off the back so it's not in your way of vision. Some people got that big tube up in the front and they're trying to steer around it like that. So that's a good way to do it. If you have a swim deck on the back of the boat, you can just set it on the swim deck and tie it to your transom clips on the back of your boat. That's another way to pull that thing. You can do the same thing with a water mat. You can take a rope, tie a loop on one end, put it through your cleat in the back, run that rope through inside that tube, tie another loop on the other end and make it tight to where when you put it in the other cleat and latch it, that tube, that mat is not going to go anywhere when you're going 40, 50 miles an hour across the lake. You won't have to worry. Always write your name and phone number on your toys out there. You never know when something's going to fall off. At least you got a 50-50 chance of maybe getting it back as long as they know they have a contact number. Wake surfing. I got 3 different ropes for wake surfing. It's called a T-bar. So this rope's kind of nice because you can grab both handles like this, and it's easier to come up out of the water on that board. And then when you get up to the top of the water, everybody's always looking for what they call the sweet spot. And that's where, when you get in that spot with your wakeboard, that's when that rope goes limp. And that's when you're able to throw it up to the boat and they'll catch it and pull it in. So this is a ski handle rope. So this is another way you can use 2 hands, 1 hand, just another comfortable fit. They're padded. Your hands get soft and wrinkly when you're in the water all day long. So these pads keep you from getting blisters on your hands, okay? It's just a way to enjoy your day better without any discomfort. And these are 20 foot long. You can get them in different lengths. Now this rope has a rubber end on it. And this is a good rope for training somebody that's brand new on a wake surfboard. Because a lot of times when they're trying to come out of the water, they don't quite make it. It takes a few times to get the hang of it, and they let go of the rope. These other ropes, if they fly forward, when you let go of that rope under tension and it flies forward, it's going to hit the back of the boat and you're going to chip your gel coat. This rope, this right here, is soft rubber. So if they do that over and over and over, this rubber is just going to bounce off the back of your boat. It's not going to damage it. So here's another thing to think about while you're out there. Your tow ropes for, let me show you this little deal. This is a little wind-up thing for your ropes. These are worth their weight in gold because you can wind it up, it stays straight. You can let the rope out doing the same thing when you go back out. It's just a good way to keep it from getting all knotty and tangled up, and just keep it organized. I've got different types of tow ropes for tubes. I've got, this is the least expensive rope. They're all 60 foot long. That's the average length of a tow rope for a tube. It's got a loop on both ends. And this rope, like it said, it gets the job done. But my safety ropes, like this, have an inner flotation device inside the rope. All right, this rope will not sink. It will stay on the surface at all times. You can see the rope at all times, so you don't run it over and get it in your prop. All right, so these are worth their weight in gold. This is a 2K rope. This rope's made to pull up to a 2-person tube safely without breaking. When you get to a 3 or 4-person tube, they make a 4K rope. Same thing. It's got the inner flotation device inside it, and you can pull up to 4 to 5 people on a rope like this on a big tube without having a problem with it breaking. Then I have a 6K rope. This is a good rope to have around. You can do anything with this rope. But the nice thing I like about this rope, if somebody breaks down, this is heavy enough that you can use it as a tow rope. So you can help somebody get back to the dock when their engines failed them. So I have all the different sizes of ropes. Now I've got something that I call total magic. It's called a booster ball. All right, so a lot of boats have low tow points where they've got the tow clips and they've got that rope's low to the water. So you got some people on a tube, and some of these tubes you have to make sure that thing is aired up properly. You need to make sure you can stand on it without it caving in. That's about 4 psi. Okay, not much, but it's got to be firm. You can't have it loose. This is the booster ball. is a ball. It's 60 foot long, like all the other ropes, but it's got this ball in the middle, and it holds the rope up out of the water. So some boats, when you take off, that rope is dragging in the wake. And what happens is that rope grabs the water and it flies back and it hits the kids in the face. And they don't like that at all. Not like when we were kids, we didn't know any different. We just made sure the valve stem was pointing down when we got on our tube, because that's all we had was a real tube, but this thing right here, so it'll keep that rope up out of the water so that water will no longer hit them in the face. And when you're with this up out of the water, if it's down and the rope's low in the water, when you hit the wake, the ride's over. You go back and again, you hit the wake, it's over. All you do is go back and forth to the inside of the wake. The ball holds that rope out of the water. So when you go over to the wake, the ball rolls over the wave. Well, guess what? So does the tube. So now you're getting the whole ride. You're going all the way out on both sides, going all the way out. When you make a U-turn in a boat, a lot of times everybody likes to be thrown off a tube sooner or later. But you've got that throttle down. You're going to turn that boat around. You're going to make a 180 turn. And when you straighten that boat back up and that tube swings around behind you, it almost gets sideways over here. And so when it goes back to catch up, there's a lot of slack in that rope, and all of a sudden, wham, that just jerks that tube, and it affects everybody on the tube. Your neck and everything takes a whooping. When you do it with a ball, when the ball comes around and you've got them sideways, when it goes back and it gets that slack in the rope, the ball acts like a shock absorber. So it takes away a lot of that yank so nobody gets a stiff neck while they're out there. This is a directional tube. On one end of it, it has a scuffer valve. This has to stay to the back, aimed towards the tube. The other side hooks to the boat. That way, if water gets trapped between the vinyl ball and the covering, that water has a way to escape out the back so it doesn't fill up. So the last thing you want to do is pull it backwards, so you'll just fill the ball up with water. So make sure you always got it pointed in the right direction. I hope everybody's learned something about tow. Make sure, please, have a ski flag. You can't be too safe out there. So, if somebody falls off that tube or ski or whatever, fly that flag so everybody around you knows what's going on. Tell the people to hold their arm up in the water, hold their ski up in the water if they can reach it. You can't be too safe out there. So, if you need any further assistance on this, just come down to the sports center, ask for Sam, and I'll be more than happy to show you hands-on how this stuff works. So other than that, I hope you all have a great day, and 4th of July is coming, so we're all going to be out there having fun. So thanks for listening to my Rodcast. Have a great day.